Welcome to E360 TV, the live streaming and on-demand destination for influential voices and enlightened audiences. We offer trending, grassroots, and purpose-driven content across a diverse range of interests. E360 TV is more than just watching programs. We offer the ability to interact with live shows connecting audiences to real, authentic influencers and storytellers while streaming to millions of devices. Real experiences. Raw conversation. One destination for it all. E360 TV.
Hi, my name's Stephanie Olson with Stephanie Olson Speaking and Consulting, and I just want to say I met Lauren a year and a half ago, but it was 2 months ago that I decided that Lauren was going to be my coach, and boy, that was not a mistake. He has truly transformed my life in not only just personally and how I view myself and my speaking and my consulting, but he has transformed the work. Since I have been working with Lauren for 2 months, he has put me in front of people that are changing my life. He has put me on stages that are stages that I could have never got on before. He has given me opportunities where I can get awards that I would have never had. So thank you, Lauren. And if you want to change your life, give him a call.
This world is changing more and more every day, and we've decided to change right along with it. My name is Dr. Lauren Michaels Harris, and I'm the president of Trajectory TV Network. At Trajectory, our vision is to provide a creative platform for top content creators and storytellers from around the globe. We're also dedicated to providing this world with content that is healing, educational, empowering, exciting, and above all else, entertaining and transparent. So right now, I invite all of you who believe yourselves to be global game changers to use the link found here and simply take a chance. Schedule a virtual chat where you'll have the opportunity to share your vision for your very own global television show with me, the network president. So use that link, and together, let's begin changing and healing this world, one story at a time. And remember, whether you have years of experience in front of the camera or zero experience, it doesn't matter. What matters the most is your desire to share great content through television and a willingness to share it with passion and with purpose. You might ask, how do I know if I've fallen in love with my purpose and my purpose has fallen in love with me? It's easy when you've lost your voice because you just can't stop talking about it. I'll see you soon. That's right. Wake your ass up. Wake up. That's the trolley of purpose. Get on it. We're going somewhere this morning. We're going somewhere this morning. Who's feeling like they want to go somewhere this morning? If you want to get somewhere today, you better leave now and start heading towards that thing at the end of the road that has your name on it. It's called purpose. Don't you want some? I know I do. Can I get an amen up in here? Good morning, beautiful people. Welcome to today's installment of Bathrobe Moments. I'm Lauren Michaels Harris. I'm so glad to be here with you. Why am I clapping? I'm clapping because I'm celebrating. I promise you, I am celebrating this morning. I'm feeling like just giving the universe a round of applause. I feel like giving you a round of applause because you know what? I'm grateful. I am grateful. I mean it. I mean it. And when you mean it, what? What happens when you mean it? When you mean something, it becomes instantly meaningful to you and others in your universe. You better believe that one. That's what I got to say right now. Let's get this party started. I want you to drop one thing, just one thing that you are grateful for today in the chat. If you can't find one thing to be grateful for, I'm going to make sure you have one by the time this hour is up. I bet you that. Welcome to the show. Help me welcome my sidekick. She's been here all 6 years. This is Lucy McGillicuddy Ricardo. It's my girl right here, for real. I love me some Lucy. I sure do. Good morning. And if you by chance are here for the very first time, first of all, welcome. So happy to have you. God bless you. Welcome to a place that is a sacred space where we come together every day, Monday through Friday at 8 a.m. Central Standard Time to fulfill one of the greatest promises. It's one of my favorites, the one that assures us, guarantees us that when two or more of us come together, and we mean it, it's something from our mind, our heart, our soul, our spirit, all those things and places that serve us. When we bring them here with great intentions, not just good, but great intentions, spiritual magic is the result. That's another one that's worth ringing the bell of purpose. That's right. When I ring that bell, it is not some clever gimmick or show prop. It's an opportunity. It is. It's an opportunity to lean in. See, that's what you see. I'm seeing you right there. See how when you bring in that energy, I don't care. They go, oh, that's just some cloud coverage. That's just the internet. No, that's something that's trying to get us distracted from what's important here. Trick no good, internet or whatever you are. Because every time the internet goes down, I pick up my intention pen and I write down the last word that came out of my mouth. I'm not leaving a gap inside the words of the world, the words, the story, whatever you want to call it, of purpose. That's right. That's right. You got to pay attention. You got to pay attention. Listen, those things that don't serve us have been practicing their craft for thousands of years. Don't take anything for granted and just know when something interrupts what you're doing, you know where you're at. You get right back to it. Can I get one more? I promise. No, I'm not going to say that. I want a whole bunch of amens today because that means we agree. Can we agree? So, great show for you today. A couple announcements, and I'm going to get Parveen Smith in here today, all the way from the beautiful UK area. But before we do, I wanted to, what am I looking for? Oh, it's announcements time. Thank you, Jed. He's here every Monday asking us what in tarnation happened to this weekend. This weekend, I want to turn that banner off real quick. Yeah, you know, this, I can't wait till I'm with NBC. Is it NBC? I'm manifesting. Listen, I'm manifesting all three of them, four of them, ABC, CBS, NBC, and them two, Fox. Listen, I'm manifesting whoever will take me. That's what I'm saying, because I want that opportunity to just wrap my love around the world. Don't you? Don't you want some global purpose in your life? You already have it. You already have it. Listen, Trajectory TV, if you or someone you know is a consummate storyteller, a content creator with purpose who loves to share it with others and be of service on purpose, then have them give me a call. I'm looking for great content creators to fill up some spots on Trajectory TV. So just give me a call. I'll tell you all about it. Also, every Wednesday, another new episode of License for Love, the heartbeat in relationship conversation with my dear friend, Cowboy Jax Young out of Nashville, drops every Wednesday wherever you get your podcast fix. So Spotify, iHeart, take your pick. You'll find us there. And congratulations, Triple Nickel. So happy to be a brand ambassador for these guys. I remember when this was on their kitchen table, and now it is on the kitchen table of Kohl's, and they're just beginning. Congratulations to all of the team over at Triple Nickel. The book, it's out. You can still get it. Of course, it's only been a few weeks, but it's #1. You want to go and find out why. Get over. Take your chances. I guarantee you'll be in alignment when you attract, accept, and accelerate your abundance. Get the book today and pray for us as we continue building our way towards May, spring of this coming year, 2023, when we're heading over to Romania for the Legacy of Hope tour. I and about 10 of my coaching clients we're heading over there to change the world, inside some kids, some adults. And I just want to say thank you all so very much. This weekend was very special for me. I got verklempt when I was when it was my turn to go up on the stage for this. I didn't expect it. I got choked up and my eyes watered because, when you look at where you were and you didn't know if you'd get past that moment, but you asked for something to get past that moment, and whatever you believe to be greater than you, I know it did. It provided, it heard my cry, it heard my plea, and it led me to this moment. So right now, I just want to say, keep going, because there are moments ahead that have your name on them. And I promise you, once you get there, you'll be able to thank everything, and I do mean everything, that has ever been a part of your journey, the good, bad, and the ugly, because every one of them led you to that divine moment. Trust me, you'll thank him. Who is here today? Well, gave you a hint at the top of the hour. I said Parveen Smith, all the way from the UK. Who is she? She's a mother, first of all, of 3 children. She's had a challenging life, like most of us. But although her path was steered, I got a feeling there's a story behind that word, steered. Okay, she never gave up. She had an awakening right around 26 years ago. And when you see her, you'll think, oh, like 2 days after you were born. Trust me, she looks that good. When she became disabled. Now, during her 4.5 years of disability, she had no choice. She overcame that. Her near-death experience is an overwhelming story. And then she had her second near-death experience 7 years later. She was saved through a phenomenal experience. And there's a lot more, but you know what? I'm just waiting to get her in here. She is also the founder of Soul to Soul, the number, Soul to Soul Wellbeing. And that's a mouthful right there. That's a heartful right there. Well-being. Listen, put your hearts on the screen. It's our way of saying good morning. It's our way of applauding and giving a standing ovation as Parveen Smith comes in to pour into us. And hopefully she's going to allow us, including you, to pour into her. Here she comes. I'm chewing a cough drop. How are you?
Good morning, Dr. Lauren Harris. How are you?
I am amazingly blessed, abundantly favored, and so happy to be here today with you. Thank you for coming in today to kick this week off. It's a holiday season. I'm gonna before we get into all that, because I got a lot to talk to you about. I want you to have just a moment or two. I'll give you about a minute. I'm gonna go over here and let you just say hello to everybody in your own way, so you guys can bond, and then I'll come back in and we'll get the interview started. Sound okay?
Sounds okay to me.
All right, I'll be right back. All you.
Thank you. Welcome, everybody. My name is Parveen Smith. So, as Lauren has already said, there's quite a lot to my story. And yes, what's shaped me to be here today is I feel that, amazingly, I'm here for a purpose. As Dr. Lauren Harris always says, there is always a purpose. And I feel my purpose has been shown to me over the last 26 years or so, more and more, and over the last 17 years for sure. So Where should we go from first? First of all, I feel as if I should share a little bit with you about where I come from. So I'm from London. Sorry, I'm not from London. A lot of people say UK, London. I'm from the UK, but where London is here, we're a little bit higher up towards Manchester area. I'm in Cheshire. And Cheshire basically is a beautiful, beautiful place to live and be, especially when you have a beautiful family to grow up into the countryside. It's beautiful countryside. So I have been living here all of my life, in fact, and my heritage goes back to the Indian culture. So my grandmother is actually, or was, Malaysian. My granddad was from India, and they basically got together during First World War. And so I believe my granddad was on the Navy ship.
Wait,
Ooh,
they got together.
got
Even
to.
in those days, was that really like a hookup?
I don't know if I'm allowed to say that. Really, am I?
Oh well, look, the world is the world. That's you, man. I started seeing it was almost like a movie. All that you have a very colorful history. And I want to get started. First of all, you said Cheshire, and you guys know what I'm thinking. Are there really a lot of cats there?
Yes.
Because that's where that came from, Cheshire cat. That whole thing, right?
That's totally true. And you know what? There are a lot of cats here. There are abundance of cats everywhere. 2, 3, 4 per household. It's no problem.
Really?
Yeah.
That must be the cat capital of the world. I bet. Somebody Google that and find. I bet there is a cat capital of the world. Find out.
Ooh.
Oh, somebody find out where it is. I want to know. Well, I'm glad you're here. I want to get started. First of all, I want to break down. I believe in reverse engineering, if you will. There's a clue. There's a message in every word that comes out of our mouth when we mean it. And you used, I know it's purposeful, the word steered. You said your journey was steered, meaning someone else was driving. And so give me the Reader's Digest definition of what that means inside of your bio. What did you mean it was steered?
So at that point, I feel it was steered because I had no idea that I could actually control my path, my journey. So on that sort of wavelength, should I say, I felt as if it was already going in a certain direction, whereas I had no choice, no control. It was just steered for me. It's only over the last 20 something years that I've realized, you know what? I did have control. I have got control, and I can make my life the best way I possibly could. So back then, of course, I've used that word steered because I felt as if it was steered for me without me even realizing where I was going.
Oh, so you were talking about something greater than yourself guiding and steering.
Yes.
Well, you also have another little area of your life that was steered that I find I don't anyway. You guys might. I haven't run into many people who have actually lived it, but let's talk about that arranged marriage thing.
Wow. So basically, I say basically, no, it was not just basically, it was part of my journey. Yeah.
Hey, tell us about that. I find that so interesting. Go ahead. I don't want to take that up.
So basically, see how I was going to say that again? Because it's not basic. We get so used to using that word. It's like an everyday word and it's too common. So going back to when I was 17 years old, of course, in the Indian culture, going back so many years, it was a common thing that you did have arranged marriages. And actually, Lauren, it still happens to this day, believe it or not. It does still happen to this day. You'll see it in many continents around the world. It does happen. So for me, it was a cultural thing. My mum, brought us up as a single parent, and it was a done thing by culture and reputation and history that this is what you do. Your young daughters would be married off at a young age.
How young?
For me, I was 17.
Were you out of high school?
Oh, well, I was just about in college, just resitting some
Okay.
subject matters.
Okay. So I'm curious. How does it go down? Is it like, hey, Parveen, it's mom. Oh, hi, mom. What are you doing? Oh, nothing in particular. Do you mind coming out to the front room? Oh, sure. What? I got something for you. Okay, be right there. Click. Mom, did you say you got meet Hirscham, your new husband? I mean, how do they drop that on you? And I want to know because in the movies, when they meet, they always have the woman all covered up in a bunch of veils and stuff. Like he's wondering, Lord, please let her be pretty. Please, please let her be pretty because I'm stuck with her. Wait, but I think that I have a feeling the guys get to see the girls first, but the girls don't necessarily get to see the guys. How does that work?
So in some cultures it may be like that, but in the culture that I come back from, is really that you were allowed, even those many years ago, you're talking about in 1987, you were allowed to see the boy, the male, that who you're going to marry, because it had just broken into that era. It was allowed, but before that, I don't think it was much
You
allowed
were,
at all.
uh-huh.
So
So
it
what about
is.
now? Is there like a catalog where they can look through? My number 7C14. Put her on the short list. Keep going. Right. I mean, and why isn't it? Do you okay? So how do they pick? And do you have any say so at all?
Yes. So I think nowadays it is a bit like what you are saying. It's just like internet dating. It would never have been allowed years ago. So there must be, I think there are, well, I know there are because my sister's already looked at something years and years ago. There is something to do with wedding partners. Are you looking for the right man to marry or the right female to marry? There is things like that out there. There are things like that. So, for example, that probably works now for the modern day world because still cultures are still allowing you to have those arranged marriages, but in a bit more of a freedom way. Your caste system matters and so forth and so
Oh
forth.
yeah.
Marrying into the right culture. So the Hindus don't marry the Sikhs, Hindus marry Hindus, Sikhs marry Sikhs, for example. Just an example. But I know, look, we are in 2022, for goodness sake. You know, the world is changing. People are intermarrying into different cultures. And it's been going on for probably nearly 2 decades, probably now, definitely more so this last so many years. I've noticed so many cultural diversity marriages taking place, which is absolutely fantastic because we are all human beings at the end of the day. We're different
Right.
colors, yes, and different sort of background and culture. But if we can just look at, we're all human beings. If you fall in love with somebody, you know, it's going to happen. Nowadays, it's okay in some cultures, in some religions, but you have to sort of look beyond now. People are traveling from one country to another. So you're going to meet different race people. You're going to
Right.
meet different types of people that you wouldn't have met probably just in India. So if people from India are traveling to the UK or going to different other countries, they're going to meet different cultural people, aren't they? And they're going to fall in love. And I think this is what was missing in this cultural system of arranged marriages. You weren't allowed to fall in love naturally. It was almost like arranged, as the word is,
Well, yeah.
arranged or forced,
I
which
can't
is
even
still
imagine.
to some level going on. Can you imagine, you know, having not much of a choice?
And then you get that one, my luck. Oh, you know, it really got the one that just like repulsive to you for some reason. You know, breath smells like onions, whatever. The pet peeves leaves in your, you know, for a woman, a guy who leaves the toilet seat up, all that kind of stuff. Now, let me ask you. You mentioned that your mom raised you as a single parent. Now, if she wanted you to have an arranged marriage, I'm assuming for agreements tells me not to do that, but I'll go out on a limb. Was her marriage arranged? And
Yes.
And what happened to your dad? If why was she a single parent? Did he pass away?
No, he didn't pass away. I think this is
Scandal. Then wait. So she's telling you you're gonna marry this guy, even though I'm not with the one that was arranged for me.
what an interesting point, Lauren. I hadn't even thought of it that way. Oh my goodness me. What an awakening second or two.
Mm, well, that was on the house. Take it with you. I'm just well, really. Well, now that you hear that, what's going through your mind?
Wow, you are absolutely totally right. So if my mother didn't foresee her marriage through all the way through that time frame, what's it trying to tell me? So why would I have to do that?
Right.
Yeah. Ding ding. It's almost like, wow, your bell is going in my head right now. It
Well, when
really
you ask her about it, I'm gonna just ask a favor. Don't mention my name because she
is.
might know some people. I do not want a black van running up and down my street this time next week looking for me. So you the one told my daughter that shit, right? No, I'm just saying. But are you gonna ask her about it like that or just leave it?
It would be quite interesting to ask actually, because it's a question that's really, when you're sort of in it, you can't see the wood for the trees, for example. It's
Yeah,
something like that. You're in it, so you don't question it. You just follow what you've been told to do on some level until you become rebellious, of course.
right. And she might have
Mm.
been under all kinds of pressure, but how interesting so you can get away from that arranged marriage if you really want to, clearly, because your
Yes.
mom.
My
Okay.
mum did it, didn't she? Well, because I think living here in the UK, because it wasn't India, for example, it's a completely different setup. So living here in the UK, obviously their marriage didn't work out. I can tell you why. Because usually the husband wants a boy to carry on their name. My mum had five girls in a very
You
short
might have
space of
kicked her out
time.
of the car. You know what? I love you, but I need a son. Bye, Felicia. You know, I mean, oh, see,
That's what
that's
happened.
another thing. Right. Okay. 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 Because I'm itching to get into this next one. So we're going to turn the corner. Thank you, Mother Dear, for all of that great content, scandal included. Wow. Who knew? Um, Near death experience times two. I'm always fascinated when people, not because I'm morbid or anything about those near death experiences, but they always have something that they bring back, or in most cases anyway. My mom's like, "What happened? What'd you see? Was there light? Was somebody saying, 'Come on, no, girl, your time ain't up. Get back there.'" Tell us about the first one and how old were you? Where were you? Set it up. I need some popcorn. I'm gonna let you take the floor because I'm gonna pop me some real quick. Go ahead.
Oh, you're hilarious. Okay, so basically, I say basically because a lot of words are, we have been taught it is just basic, but to me, it wasn't just basic, actually. I'm going to correct myself with that word. Amazingly, I'm still alive to tell this tale. Back then, I went through a disability basically, and that basic disability was not a basic disability. It was almost like having a fast car crash on the motorway, and the impact was just as severe as any impact of a car crash would be, at a high speed. And what had happened was it was my third baby. So with my third baby, I noticed I was having problems with my pelvis in pregnancy, early pregnancy. It wasn't really looked at. And as much as I complained, it still wasn't seen or heard of as much as we found out later. When I gave birth to my third child, my pelvis basically split. And this is really quite an unusual thing. Back then it was, because we were told I was the 29th person in the UK to have had such a thing called SPD, where your pelvis splits through childbirth. And if you can imagine, the pain was absolutely horrendous. And can remember I was in the hospital and the baby was born too early. And she was basically she was actually in a neonatal ward. She was born a blue baby, and I should have had a cesarean section, but I didn't. And I was left too long, and the baby was induced. I was induced, and the baby came along, and the pelvis split through all that awful sort of pressure on the pelvis, which was already not so great. When she was born, like I say, she was in the neonatal ward, blue baby, and I had been wanted to see my baby because they whisked her off quite quickly. And I can remember just walking and my husband was by the side of me. Then all of a sudden I thought, oh my goodness me, I'm going to pass out right now. And I could barely stand up. And then before you knew it, my husband quickly got a wheelchair and sat me in it. And from that day onwards, pretty much I didn't really come out of that wheelchair. I was then wheelchair bound. I was in hospital for 3 weeks with the baby, trying to get her to feed, keep her warm, keep her healthy and well. And then on top of that, the doctor started coming to see me. They were saying, oh my goodness, why aren't you walking? I said, I'm in excruciating pain. And they were saying, you shouldn't be in this much pain. Let's stand you up. And they started standing me up. They're wobbling my pelvis around. It was going all shapes and everywhere. And they were like, oh my goodness me. And I can remember saying to the nurses at night, please, can you give me more medication? I need more medication. I'm in severe pain. And the nurse was saying, well, Parveen, we can't do that. You've had your maximum dose already. And then more doctors came to have a look. And then, I was sent home, not really fully having all the things in place. I couldn't walk up the
Literally.
steps. I couldn't walk up the stairs to the bedroom. I, in the end, had a bed downstairs, and that bed downstairs, nurses came home to look after me. I had home help. I could barely sit up, and I hardly held my baby, actually. My husband had lost his job. We basically just about survived. It was a horrendous time for me.
Oh my God. Oh, sorry, not the tips. I'm shocked. Well, it's like you had everything but frogs and boils. So what? I mean, I get it. That I'm sitting over thinking about you're having your baby, and that should be one of those. It doesn't matter if it was the third baby. Having a baby, from what they tell me, and I've never had one, but it's one of the greatest things. The experience is just unbelievable. But here you're dealing with all these other things. So let me ask you something. You have three kids. It was this third child. So what about today? Is it a trigger? I mean, when you like deal or interact or look at this child, are you constantly remember to that time? That happened. Like, boy, I mean, it seems like it'd be something you'd always think of. And why do you think it happened? What was the moral of that story?
So I don't think of it too much now. I think when you're in that space of being disabled or unable to get about, you can't walk, you can't sit up, you can't look after your family, and you had home help coming in. It was like one of the most hopeless times in my life, because I've always been very, very active. And during that time, Lauren, I've got to say, I I was in it, and very, very dark moments, because I was on that many tablets, over 100 tablets a week, including, herbal tablets. I just thought, wow, am I going to actually survive this? I can remember having family members coming home, and they're sitting at the end of where my bed was, and they just sat there and just watched me day and night, because I could barely open my eyes. I could barely do anything. I was just so unwell.
Did they
And
think you were going to die?
I would say so. Yeah.
Did you ever think you were going to die?
Yes. That was then, during that childbirth.
That's a horrible feeling, isn't it?
It's unbelievably scary.
It is. It is. And when it's in, I get it. I get it. So that was one of the two.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about that second near-death experience.
So let me just go back to the first one, because I haven't
Oh.
even talked about the first one. What had happened?
You haven't?
No.
What the hell? Wait. So what was that? Oh my God, was that the foreplay?
Yeah, that was just the beginning.
Oh my goodness.
That was just the beginning. That's nothing.
Okay, go ahead.
So then one day I can remember when I was strong enough, because I was disabled or unable for 4.5 years to walk properly. I was still having outpatients appointments 4 times a week, because there wasn't enough beds for me to stay in consistently, because it wasn't doable, because I had the family there at home as well. So I was in and out of hospital consistently, for 4.5 years. And during the first couple of years, I would say the first year, I can remember thinking, oh my goodness, I'm never going to recover. They gave me an option of having an operation, a 50-50 chance of ever walking again. And me being me, I decided not to go for surgery. And I think all of the, surgeons that looked at me, and, had there was about 12 surgeons in the room, and they thought, wow, she must be absolutely crazy. You must have surgery. And I thought, if I never recover from this, what's the point of having metal put into my body? So when they gave me 50-50 chance, I took the chance of, I'm going to try and recover naturally as possible in my own way, however that would be. Then I can remember I was at the top of the stairs one night, and I can remember saying to my daughter, I don't feel very well. And there's a little bit of another story in between this, which is quite a sensitive story, which I don't know if it's the right time to speak about that right now. And then this thing happened where I was in absolutely excruciating pain. And my 8-year-old daughter shouted to my husband, Dad, come upstairs. Mum's in so much pain. And all of a sudden, I just collapsed into his arms, just like that, from having excruciating pain to collapsing. Then all of a sudden, the whole of that pain disappeared. All of that pain disappeared. And then I can remember going into this white light, almost like this, I would call a tunnel or a vessel, this white light. I could see it, and I was just transported into this white light. And I kept going and going and going. Then all of a sudden I thought, wow, I'm in so much peace. This is amazing. And then I can remember seeing this beautiful cottage with this lovely, vibrant to vibrant colours I've never seen on planet Earth ever before. The whiteness of the white was more than wow. And then the colours of the flowers in this cottage. And then I thought to myself, am I at God's home? Am I at God's house? And then I was just in awe of it. It felt like I was away for ages out of this pain because I was in so much peace. Then all of a sudden, I can remember very, very clearly, this is 26 years ago now, and I came back into my body like whoosh, wah, bang, and a thud back into my body. And when that happened, Lauren, I can remember the pain was horrendous. And then came the paramedics, and they took me away in an ambulance.
That's what people say when they experience that. That's like, what do you mean go back? Especially when, loved ones and stuff are saying, oh, girl, sorry, it ain't your time. You got to go. Who got to go back? I'd have been like, wait a minute. I want to see the manager. That's what I'd be like. I want to see a manager. I ain't going nowhere. Make me leave. Because I'm serious. Because they talk about that peace and all that stuff, and then it's beyond understanding. It's so wonderful.
It is.
And then you have to go back to, why do you think it happened?
Why do I think it happened? Trying to understand why I would be a mother of 3 children and then not being able to walk and have my ability to completely look after my family, which is what I love to do. And I was waiting for my 3rd child. I was so excited to have her. I can remember very clearly. Why did it happen? I think now I can sense back then, even like 15, 20 years ago, it was about, come on, Parveen, wake up. There's a bigger thing happening here. And when I was in that disablement, unable to do things, I started reading the Bible, Lauren. I started reading the Bible, and then I used to play the Gregorian chants. Have you heard of the Gregorian chants?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and I used to play them so loud because I wanted that to take my pain away. I needed someone to take this pain away, or something to take this pain away. And the doctors used to come home to my home to give me morphine injections regularly because the pain was so severe. Then my body used to go into shock, and I used to go into compulsive, this complete shaking, which was out of control because it reacted with my body in such a severe way. So I think what I feel here is God was trying to say, we have a plan for you. We have a purpose for you. Stop. Come into this. Yes. The chance.
Right. Because free will. Lean into it. Just lean into it. I call it the tilt-a-whirl. Just like that ride at the amusement park, the tilt-a-whirl, because you have to pull that bar back. And the ride itself is the centrifugal force. So if you fight the ride, you're not even on the ride because you have no choice. You have to surrender. And I think that could be one of the words we need to get into when we return from this brief but important break. And when we come back, like I said, let's talk about surrender as you take us into near-death experience. Number 2, we're going to get into that and more in just a moment. This is a great time. A lot of show left. Share this out with one other person. Watch yourself get blessed in the manner you need to be blessed today. I will be right back. Don't you dare go away. Because now I know when something happens in our lives that is unexpected, you have to go into it in order to ever have any hope of coming through it. So when you go, guess what? When you come out the other side, you grow.
Brought out more in me than I thought that I didn't even know that I had.
That has given all of us a great hope for what we can do with our own messages, our abilities to deliver, but most importantly, to deliver it in an authentic and very, very intriguing way.
Have you ever been in something or felt something where the only way you felt you could deal with it was to leave, get away? I thought that was the meaning of control. It took me 4.5 decades to stop looking around the room of my life, of my journey, of my purpose, digging in cushions for a remote that never existed. Looking, relooking, going back and upgrading, bringing in and pulling out things that do not serve you must go. Those things out in this world that are designed to bring us down, to keep us down, put their foot on our neck and whisper to us that we're never good enough, they don't whisper. They yell at us from all directions, top to bottom, bottom to top, side to side, side to side, corner to corner, and corner to corner, 365 days. When somebody asks you about yourself, don't you dare whisper. When they ask you to raise your hand, don't you dare half raise it. When they ask you something good about you, you scream it with all you have. Come on now, get up, get up. Tell me who you are. Show me who you are. Greatest truth of all, that not everyone has to remain lost. Welcome back to today's installment of Bathrobe Moments. I'm Lauren Michaels Harris. Before we get Parveen Smith back in to get into near-death experience number 2, juicy. Speaking of juice, here's some I like. It is V8, 100% vegetable juice from concentrate. A lot of great perks to this. Number 1, it serves you. That should be enough, but in case it isn't, here's some more. 2.5 servings of vegetables in every can and only 60 calories. What could be greater, right? Okay, so think about it. Put down the thing that isn't serving you, the power drink, the soda. It was Diet Coke for me. I'm glad I did. This is one of my favorites. To find it, head down the nearest juice aisle in your local grocery, and you will find it. And when you check out, make sure you mention the Bathrobe Moments. You might even say Lauren sent you. They'll look at you like you're crazy. It'll still be fun. Okay, Parveen Smith is back. Hi, Parveen.
Hello.
You ready for this one? Part 2. And take us into this second one. Let me see. We got about 10 minutes, maybe a little more. Because I want you to put that out there. And then we're going to get into this soul to soul well-being that you have going on and who it's for and what they will find when they get there. So tell us about this second one, second near-death experience.
So the second near-death experience came in 17 years ago. 17 years ago, I was getting ready to go to work. I worked with children and I was a mentor. Mentoring children was really important for me, giving them hope at the end of the day. They were going through all sorts of situations back at home and even struggling within school. So I was employed to work with the schools. And this particular day, or that weekend, I did a big charity fundraiser for cancer research, and we fed about 66 people, something on that level. Then, after finishing that, I was tidying up, and it was time to go to school on the Monday morning. And I just could not get out of bed. I could not breathe. And I can remember saying to my daughter, go and get my neighbour from across the road. She called my neighbour. The neighbour called the doctor. The doctor said, get an ambulance. I basically felt my body was shutting down. I didn't have enough breath within me. It was one of the most scariest moments because I could see my daughter in front of me. And the first thing that sort of came to my mind is, I am dying. I'm not going to be here to see my children. And this was a story that has touched many people because it reminds us of the pandemic over the last couple of years or so. It reminded me of the pandemic, a couple of years ago, that breath was so important. For me, it was important then.
So,
and then, yes.
Yeah, go ahead.
And then I basically did another basically is no such thing as basic. I'll keep correcting myself because there is no such thing as basic.
That word trying to eat you alive.
It is.
It's like you ain't letting go of me. And you're like, get off me. It's like a piece of something that you know, cellophane that sticks, or that piece of lint you keep Keep shaking. It'll leave.
Yeah, because my life has not been basic, and this is what I want to get
Right.
across.
But it
Yeah,
sure is working hard to get you to speak it out of your mouth, isn't it?
it's
Y'all
sure.
better pay attention. That was the bell. Pay attention. Big one right
Yeah.
there. Go ahead, Parveen. Go ahead.
So I went through this space of time in and out of hospital, and my doctor kept sending me in saying, you are really sick, and I could feel something whizzing around my top half of my body, around my lung. It felt like I can remember that very clearly, and I couldn't eat, I couldn't breathe, I couldn't speak. And again, for the second time round, my colleagues from the schools came to visit me, bringing me flowers, and I'm lying here just on this sofa here, and they probably looked at me then thinking, oh my God, she's not going to survive this. She looks like she couldn't, I couldn't even open my eyes.
You know they did that. Parveen, girl, hang in there. You'll be back to 100% in no time as soon as they get outside. She'd probably be dead for morning. You know they did. You know, because people get scared when they see that and they're like, oh. So go on. They leave. Then what happens?
Then one night I just cried out in the middle of the night. I cried out and said, please, God, somebody, please, God, just don't let me die just yet. I was so scared to close my eyes at any point, day or night. But this particular night, I thought, I'm not going to wake up in the morning. Please don't let me die just yet.
Oh, what a horrible feeling.
It was
scared to go to sleep, thinking you won't wake up. I get that. Boy, somebody better say something up in here. Come on. Come on.
And then, amazingly, I was wide awake, and the digital clock is in front of me. My husband's fast asleep. And these three beings came, these three beings of light, translucent, appearing there in shape, but see-through almost. And these three beings of light, angels, came, and they were here and started operating on my body. I was held back. I was gagged. I could not speak. I couldn't nudge my husband. I couldn't move. And they basically started operating on my body, on the chakras, as I could see every single chakra. And I couldn't do anything. I just watched them. And it was so painful, Lauren. It was almost as if I was in a hospital having a full operation on my body. Painful. I just lay there. I surrendered. This time I surrendered. I was ready. I surrendered, and I allowed them to do what they needed to do. And I can remember looking at the clock and thinking it's an hour now, and I fell asleep. I woke up in the morning thinking I'm going to be recovered now. So I said to my husband, did you see what happened last night? And he said, see what? I said, did you not see those three angels? He's thinking, have you gone crazy or something? Yeah. And here's me trying to convince him. It just didn't work so much that level. Then I thought, oh, now I'm going to be able to walk, breathe, talk, eat, everything.
Of course, the angels just hooked me up. Let's go. And
but it didn't happen like that, Lauren, for me.
How did it?
I was still unable to do anything. I basically was not able to, I correct that word. I amazingly still was not able to go back to work. I lost my job. I was out of work for 2 years, disabled, unable to do anything. Again, I couldn't walk, breathe, talk, eat, and I lost weight. Nutritionist to the hospital, put all this stuff into my diet, which I felt it was a wrong types of food for me. I don't do fatty foods. It was all creams and cheeses and all this. And my body just started rejecting something. I felt really unwell. And then
wait, the angels just do surgery on you. And then someone says, here, eat all this cream and cheese and fat. Yes, you can afford it. The angels just worked on you. You know, oh my goodness. Parveen, why is something working so hard to keep you from something so great? Talk about that. So now here you are, and you've come through both of those. Now that theme of no walking, that whole fully, it does sound like a theme of surrender to me.
Totally. And I did surrender. After that, my daughter could see angels in the house. It was almost like this portal of energy had been opened up through my experiences. And my daughter could see angels in the house. And she said to me one day,
well, wait a minute, hold it. What do you mean almost? If your daughter saw angels in the house,
she saw angels.
Now, let's affirm this. If your daughter saw angels in the house and you saw angels in the room, then It sounds to me like no almost to it. A portal, a door, an opportunity was available. Somebody better come on now up in here. This is why we are here. This is not by chance. This was not a halfway almost anything. This was
It
a
was happening.
divine moment in time, reality at its best. Keep going. Keep going.
It was totally a reality. My daughter saw everything. We saw everything happening in this space. Even my son, a teenager at that time, he said he saw Jesus Christ looking at the window, and it was a reflection to him. He said to me, "Mom, am I Jesus?" Because it was a reflection.
Right.
Wow.
With Jesus in here. Yeah. Ooh. Chill.
Well, I've gone
Ooh.
goosey. I've gone really
Yeah.
goosey. Wow, wow, wow.
Wow.
Exactly. And this happened continuously in our house. We were seeing ascended masters. We were seeing masters who were not here anymore, but yet they had been on earth just like Jesus. And all these stories are like phenomenal stories, which I wrote about in my books. Then
Talk
it
about
came
that.
to, yeah,
Talk
and
about
then
that.
it came to, I will. And then it came to the point, Lauren, that I thought to myself, this is something I've got to document and write down. And I wrote my books. So my first book, story, Seeing is Believing, Believing is Seeing. And then the second book, Head in Heaven, Feet on Earth.
Head in heaven, feet on earth. Yeah. Getting that peak in there. Ooh. Look at it up in here. Right. Ooh, wee.
So
Okay.
I wrote the stories because I thought, who is going to believe me? These stories seem as if, it cannot be true. It's a phenomena. And it happened. And it happened to me. It happened to my family. We all witnessed this.
Look, tell us about this link. Because I know someone right now is going, if you're as smart as I think you are, trying to get their hands on one of those books already. And when they go to soulwellbeing.com, is there a way for them to find the books?
Yes, there is. And what happens here, Lauren, is you get a signed message from the angels, a message from the angels for you, specifically for you in this lifetime, when you order the book directly from me.
Wow. So what else is at this website, Soul to Soul Wellbeing? And just give us the Reader's Digest version of what this brand is all about. What's inside of it? What's the yolk of this egg, if you will?
Yes, so the yolk of this Soul to Soul Wellbeing is about me supporting you, because from a soul point of view, I've been through so many different experiences in my life, and I am now helping so many people out there through their experiences with any challenges and obstacles they're facing. From my soul to their soul, I can help them grow, heal, and develop, and allow them to release some of these things that are happening in their life, what I've experienced too. So Soul to Soul is basically helping, not basically, amazingly helping people to overcome. That
like
word does not want to
paper
be.
stuck on your shoe.
It's a bit like this, isn't it, Lauren?
Girl, I mean, it's like this. Okay.
I'm correcting every single time it comes up. I'm actually trying to delete it as it comes up.
It is
Yeah?
just like really trying to put you in your place, but we already know who's going to win this, because the truth always does. Can I get an amen? What about you also have angels? Now let me tell you, when I read it, I thought Angel Soft Transformation. Does she know that's a toilet paper here in the United States? But I figured it out. It's Angels of Angels of Transformation, but it could also be Angel Soft.
I love it.
I know.
Angel Soft.
Right, Angel Soft. So I'm assuming that Angels of Transformation, ever since you had these divine moments with angels, they've become a pretty big piece inside your day-to-day life. Tell us about angelsoftransformation.com.
It's lovely. Angels of Transformation is here to support humanity, and those who feel connected to angels, I can help you to communicate with the angels, train you in the healing process that we can bring for ourselves. So they are actually programs, and they are courses that help you to self-develop, but connect with the archangels and angels and masters. And then you are healing yourself, healing your family and friends,
Yeah.
And we're healing humanity, people who want to become healthy and well. And every single person who's been touched by this, Lauren, I've got to say, have had phenomenal experiences.
Yep.
I just finished training 2 people up just the other day, South Africa and here in the UK. They are now professional practitioners of this.
I'm telling you, yes, and yes. I am telling to y'all firsthand. She ain't lying. It's true. I know we all talk about angel numbers and this and another, but I have a personal relationship now because I use this book to get there. The angels within us. And the way I was led to this book, it changed my life. And I'm gonna tell you, just like Olita Adams, remember that song, Get Here? You can reach me by right way back in the day. I don't care how you get to those angels. Get your ass to the angels. Not and it's not dying in the arms of the angels. Thank you, Sarah McLaughlin. Nothing against you, girl. But you talk about some good ass friends. The angels, they've been there. They've always been there. They are there. There are others. Get to them as quickly as you can. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. Just get there and find what is missing from your literal birthright. You have the right to these things. We have dominion, and all of these entities and more are here to assist us. Given we give them literal permission to do what they were created, they are there to help us find that greatest version of ourselves, that thing that our souls are thirsty for. Y'all better come on now. Give me an amen. Put it in the comments. So, Parveen, as we get out of here, you're coming back. We're going to figure that date out at the end here. Well, I got to go straight into a coaching call, but text me. I'll text you. Maybe, let me see. Can you possibly come back this Thursday, the 15th?
This Thursday is...
Or Friday, the 16th.
Thursday the 15th is fine.
You want to come back for part 2? Because
yes,
I want to get more. I want to go a little deeper inside the world of the angels, and I'm going to be ready for it. And we're going to talk all about that, all about how to literally have that relationship. I am not kidding you guys. I had a scarcity mindset not so long ago, right around a year ago, in that book, and a couple other people like Parveen. I didn't know you yet, but I still think you were working in my favor. Helped me get my mind around how to actually get on the phone, if you will, with my angels. And I am not kidding you. I found my way to that angel of abundance. She was wrapped up in all these vines and stuff. Her mouth was all sewn shut. And I'm like, girl, who did this to you? She was like, I'm looking at him. I'm looking around. Where you at? She was like, you dumbass. She didn't say that, but that's what I heard in my human filter. Right. And I was like, well, how do I change this? She goes, speak it. Name what needs to be done. And I did. And instantly it just dissolved. They all went and fell to the ground. Her mouth opened up. And you could tell she was tired of it being so shocked. Ooh, that feels so good. Right. And she was said, and now I can do what I was sent and designed to do to aid you, Lauren, in becoming your highest self. And I just know, you guys, this is real stuff. Come on back Thursday, the 15th. And yes or no, Parveen, we're going to change their lives. Together, we're going to change each other's lives up in here. Is that right or wrong?
We are changing lives every day.
Every single day. Come on, you guys. Come on now. I'll see you Thursday. Get the word out. Bring a friend. And tomorrow, badass Jamie Lane is here. She is here tomorrow. She's breaking the silence of about 20 minutes, but she's coming back tomorrow. She's got a great show for us, and I want to thank you. Mark your calendar now for this Thursday. Parveen will be back. We're going to do all things angels. Get out and be the best version of yourself. We're a little bit late, but it was worth it. I'll see you tomorrow, God willing, out front. Be the best. Bye-bye. Bye, Parveen. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Show me your soul. Baby, I'll show you mine. Show me your soul. Honey, it's way past time. How expensive do I have to be? Need I spell it out before you get it? side, shamelessly displaying my state of mind.